And we're live.
Okay.
Hello. Hello, Miss Adria.
Hi, Adria. Hope you're having a great Monday.
Wait first. Go away, kitty. Keep moving, fur face.
Hi, Michelle.
Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
How's your day, Miss Michelle? Carla.
Whew. What a mess. Kitty, really? Can't you go be needy someplace else?
No, you cannot.
The look he gives me, it's like, how dare you? I am your kitty, Mama. Hi, Steffi. Hello, Sherry. Yeah, you love
Hi,
organizing.
Sherry. Hi, Stephanie. Hope you guys are having a great evening. That your Monday was okay.
I come bearing gifts.
I can't. I'm gluing. Hold on. I can't gift and glue at the same time.
That looks like a pair of underwear.
It's not.
It does kind of have that shape, though, doesn't it?
Okay, but when I flip it over, not underpants.
Oh, okay. But it does kind of have that look.
Sure. If you're only ever thinking about underpants, maybe you should put your thoughts elsewhere.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
You can't. I have a 12-year-old boy inside of me.
You should probably get that out. I knew you'd do that.
Huh?
Go. You're missing your own life. Bye-bye. I don't know. My day is just starting. I have only been up for a little while.
Are you hungry? Oh, I heard one yet.
My day goes until about 8 or 9 in the morning, and then I sleep until 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So my day's just beginning. How could it have gone wrong already?
Did dinner? Oh, yeah. Waiting on rice. Okay.
Well, I had to go pick up my grandson and his tuba.
Carla, you don't see London or France. There are no ladies' underpants. It's a whale tail. Unless you're, in underpants. If you're playing the role of Captain Underpants, then maybe you do.
Hi, Mitzi.
And I believe that's entirely possible because, people like to be naked when they get home from work.
This is true.
Taking off your bra and your pants is the greatest joy in the world at the end of the day.
Your shoes.
In
And
my
your
opinion.
shoes.
Mitzi, how you doing? Well, you got to take that's implied. You have to take those off to get your pants off. Awkward.
I'm just saying. Who is it? Brad Upton. I was watching him on Insta the other day, and he did a whole bit on. He was on tour with these comedians, and they were all like in their 20s and 30s, and they're like they want to go out after the show, and they're drinking till like 3 o'clock in the morning, and they're dragging it in, and he's like, and I just want to go home and take my shoes off. Oh, that's the best part of the night. Because he's like,
especially you've been standing a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean the guy's got to stand up all the time, and he walks back and forth. It's got to be uncomfortable. It really does. Stand-up comedy, they're underrated for the.
I think that's why some of them get the stool.
Who was it that used
I really do. I think that's where the stool comes in. You reach a certain age, and you're like, I need a stool.
Yeah. Well, Gallagher used to do it in his socks. Remember that?
Yeah, vaguely.
He always
Where
had
did
his
the
socks
thumbs go?
on.
I don't know. Did you take the thumbs away, Els?
No.
Did you allow them to not thumb?
No, I didn't touch the thumbs.
You're an anti-thumber? Is that what happened?
Let me see. I haven't even looked at it on
You must have checked something in the settings accidentally. No thumbs for us. That's going to be bad for our stats. No, really, that's your stats because this isn't my channel.
No, I'm looking at it on YouTube.
Your
and
channel.
I see thumbs. Hi, Roseanne.
Maybe try refreshing, Adria.
Yeah, Sherry says she thumbed.
Roseanne!
Roseanne can thumb.
But she didn't
People
say
can
if
give
she
us
thumbed
a thumb.
up or down.
They
What?
can give us the thumb, which I guess is better than getting the finger, right?
All thumbs are good thumbs.
I like thumbs.
Well, if they had the other finger, everybody would give us that. Uh-oh. Are you on a phone or something, Adria? Maybe they have taken it away there. I don't know. Mitzi, my thumb worked. Well, I'm glad. Yay, thumbs. Thumbs up, thumbs down. All the thumbs are good. I'm just working on this for a hot second, and then I'll get out the serial killer. What?
We like thumbs.
I heard you yell that, and then it took like a full 12 seconds before it. Is that for me?
Yeah.
So I have big balls now?
You have big balls, too.
Well, at least there's a pair of them.
That was the joke.
That way we're good.
Well,
Hold on, I'll show you guys.
You have squishy balls, though.
Well, I'm a girl. I should have
You
squishy
should have
balls.
some squishy ball, yeah.
And I dare to say that men's balls are pretty squishy.
They are, yeah.
Thanks for the gesture to go with that.
You're welcome.
I can never unsee that. Apparently, I have big balls. And they're a little sparkly, too. Yeah, there's a little sparkle in my balls. Oh, I'm sorry. The camera's in a new place. You should see less jiggling. They had a serial social today at the 4-letter word. And you were unable to attend. Why, Carla? Why? Are you anti-serial? You could have killed some cereal. Could have been a serial killer. Purple squishy balls. And they're different sizes. They're not even the same size. I think a lot of men have that problem too.
Or they only have one.
She's pro serial killer. Aw. Well, boo. Maybe there'll be some left tomorrow, though. Maybe you can still get your hands on some of that. What are you working on over there?
Nothing. I got this box at the Deseret today. And I saw these in there and they were this way. And I was like, oh, cool, vintage postcards. And I pulled them out and they're this.
Birds?
Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
It's much better than just, some envelopes.
I like envelopes.
I know you're going to get what's in the box. They're vintage. There's not a lot of them, though.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Vintage envelopes.
Hi, Daddy. Uh-oh. I made a smudge. The box? You can't stay out, can you?
The box is nice vintage, too.
By vintage, she means dirty. It's a dirty little box. Is it?
There's
Is it? Is it?
It's dirty.
It's not naughty.
It's naughty. Hey,
Did you just get goosed?
I just got a drive-by butt grab.
Oh! Sandy get you back for once?
Yeah.
Oh, you have grabbed her butt a gajillion. And you call her a quitter all the time.
She is a quitter.
And envelopies. Envelopies.
Just about it.
Leslie, long time no see. I feel like it's been forever. Might have only been a week. I don't know. I got a brain like a sieve. Feels like a while.
You want her to do that?
Oh, good for you, Adrian. That sounds awesome. I hope that you have an amazing time. You'll have to tell us all about it. Well, the parts that aren't secret, What happens at the event stays at the event. You're going to one of those retreats, right? The same one Rosemary's going to? I'm jelly a little bit. I think that's awesome. Someday. It's on my someday list. Despite all evidence to the contrary, I am getting my shit together, so. One of these days. I'm going to cut this down. Let's see what happens. Did anybody do any crafting this weekend or have anything fun plans or what's happening out there?
Okay, it's your turn.
Hi, Leah. Whatever.
It's your turn.
My turn for what?
Dinner.
Oh, did Sandy already get her food?
Look. You can have a burrito or tacos or nachos.
Oh. You didn't answer my question. Is Sandy done?
Never go anymore.
Just
'Cause
about.
I'm not playing the Butt Island game.
Hey, Neener.
I also had.
Are you even supposed to have that burrito?
Yes, I can
It's
have
not a
beef.
burrito.
It's not a burrito.
Nachos.
Okay.
Nachos.
She has to go get the Roto Rooter.
Thank you for announcing that.
Can I have mine in a bowl? That's what I don't-
Everybody would know that. Thank you.
Oh, please. We all go.
Find this one works.
I'm not going.
I'm not
I
going
mean,
either.
there's somebody else I know, according to her.
I ain't going either.
See? I have to.
Ah, Candy had a steak quesadilla.
Okay. Oh, you're not.
I what?
Making big burrito.
Oh, Candy had steak quesadilla.
Yay.
We're all having Mexican tonight, apparently.
It's not even Taco Tuesday.
It's Mexican Monday.
I didn't know if anyone wanted burritos. So
I won't. There's any leftover.
Also, Wednesday, I will not be live. I'll post it in the Facebook group, but I'm not going to be live on Wednesday because somebody has to drive her to her exam and stay there with her and then drive her home because they're going to put her out, you know. So I'm going to go drive her over there.
They're not. They're out.
I'm going to drive her over there,
They violated.
let her get violated, and then safely make sure she gets home. Takes all the fun out of being me. Yes, Harry. Everybody's looking at your fat bags. We all see you. Yes, you're handsome. You do know, Harry, that this is not your YouTube channel, right?
No tomatoes tonight?
Do the salsa. I
Okay.
mean, this is
There's
What I
salsa.
heard
There's
was
the tomatoes.
get some salt with it.
there's some grape tomatoes in there. Do you want me to cut you up? Okay.
But that's the correction. I can. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
yeah.
no.
Okay. Hey.
It's okay. You're gonna crush me.
Wow. Okay, that's horrible. Here.
I made a review saying
Okay, you know
I
what?
touched it.
Right there. I didn't even open it. I'm sorry. I could have kept it.
So, yes, I'm going to drive her over and wait with her while they do it because she usually gets the medical transport because of her, she has a pacemaker, so she's disabled, and so they give her medical transport. But in order to get the colonoscopy, she actually has to have somebody
Like that
stay there.
fresh, too.
So,
Not a good man's deal.
Is it not with it, though? Is it not? You don't want to cut down so far that you
Yeah.
ruin the zipper.
wow. Yeah, no, I don't
So
need those
close to the
details.
zipper, you can't get a grip on it. That's it. Can't finish that one. I have to take it just a bit. Huh? You can cut together. Mix it.
Yeah, I don't want to know what her colon looked like.
You can watch video. There's video.
Smell it.
I know they video it now.
What?
They make videos of it now.
See, I was here. We were talking about this yesterday.
I've been talking about street tacos for months.
I know that, but, and by the way, I got them out so you can.
I don't know if
I'll tell you what.
this-
I took my mom.
I know.
There was a big scandal here about 15 years ago. There was a colonoscopy clinic here in town, and they were reusing shit.
Yeah.
And my mom went in there and had her colonoscopy, and then they found out that all of these people were getting Hep C, and it was all tracked back to that colonoscopy clinic. And my mom had Hep C. That's what killed her. And my mom was terrified for like 6 months that she had like infected the lab with Hep C, and that them reusing her stuff is what spread the Hep C. And
Well, that's extra growth.
so we ended up, her doctor, to make sure and to ease her mind on the whole thing, he did a DNA test on her strain, and it was a completely different strain. So at least she knew it wasn't her, but it was 6 months of pure terror because my mom was always really careful. Like when she first got the diagnosis, she wouldn't let anybody eat after her or drink after her. She was very careful to make sure that and my kids were babies when she got the diagnosis, to make sure that, you know how kids are, they toddle over and they see you're eating a bowl of popcorn, they want the popcorn. Well, she wouldn't let them eat out of her bowl of popcorn because, you lick your fingers, put them back in the bowl. So yeah, little scary there for a while.
See,
But
I'm
yeah, it
in
was
the
a big
house.
thing. Who's here?
Kennedy.
Oh, she's here. That's
She's
not
in the
exciting.
house and in the house. Wow. Just wow. I'm sorry if I'm crunching.
But she's eating.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna wait like a pig.
Sorry, but not sorry.
Got that right.
Yeah, Carla. Who would do that? Why? That is so scary. And these people, like, they're unconscious, or they. There has to be some way that they can make that so it's only usable one time.
So, but is that laziness or is the office trying to save money? You got to wonder what the motivations are,
I don't know, but I
Put
know
other
that the
people's health
doctor,
at risk.
the doctor here and the nurse that was involved, the head charge nurse, they both went to prison for attempted murder.
Well, because they gave people a disease that basically a death sentence.
Yeah, they told them. They said, you're going to go for attempted murder right now, but we could upgrade the charges if any of these victims die.
Mm-hmm. That's not cool. You pay those people to take care of you, not to make you sick.
Thank you, Adria. I didn't see it, but thank you.
What happened?
Oh, she mailed the paper today.
Oh. Nice.
I don't know why people that are in the medical profession are doing their jobs correctly. Mike went to the dentist to have his top teeth done because he needed a plate. And the nurse that was holding his mold in, she was doing something on the table behind him. So she kept moving and she was wiggling it back, like up and down, and now his teeth rock. They don't fit his mouth at all. And it's a pain in the butt.
Make it work.
But he doesn't want to go back because he had a horrible experience. And I mean, that's not life-threatening, but it's still very, it
reduces the quality of his life.
Yeah, it reduces the quality of his life, but it also reduces his desire to seek help when he needs it.
Well, it certainly doesn't make me want to go get some.
Oh, Leah, I'd have been ticked.
Oh my gosh, Leah. That's not cool. Not cool at all.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I've been in the hospital and had to use a bedpan, and then they put your name on it, and that's your bedpan. That's your bedpan, you know? But reusing needles and shit, I don't even let them re-stab me
way to an
when I go
infection.
to. Well, when I go to get my blood drawn, if they can't get it in the first arm and they pull the needle out, I make them get a new needle to do the other arm. Just because now it's, you know, it's been exposed. People never cease to amaze me.
Well, these are medical professionals who should know better.
Yeah.
There are procedures in place for such things. They're not following the proper procedure.
And I have to believe it's just laziness. Not really thinking things through.
Yeah.
And that's just incompetence, in my opinion. And let's be clear, I'm not hating on medical professionals. I just think that there's a portion of people that get tired and fed up with their jobs, and rather than seek work elsewhere, they continue to work in the field where they don't give a fuck anymore.
Yep.
And that's not cool. Good for you, Leah. You got to stand up for yourself, because they certainly won't.
I tell everybody 2 words you need to learn. If you're going to be in the hospital for any reason, 2 words: patient advocate. Because the nurses and doctors and
You really
interns
do.
and the
You
people
need
on the
an
floor,
advocate for you.
they're not going to. But patient advocates, they don't work for the insurance company. They don't work for the hospital. They work for the government, for the state. And they're put into each and every hospital for the purpose of representing the patients. So I always tell everybody I know who goes in and has any kind of procedure done, know these words: patient advocate. And if something's not working, they're not doing their job, tell them you want to speak with the patient advocate, and they have to give you the patient advocate. They have to get them there. Like, it is mandatory. And the patient advocate will do whatever you ask. I mean, within reason. If you're asking for something that's medically going to hurt you, then, you know, they're going to try and come up with alternatives. But something as simple as, I knew a guy who went in and had surgery here in Arizona in July, and the air conditioning was out in the hospital, and they would not bring him a fan. And he had back surgery, so he could not move. And I went in and he was sweating balls, just laying there in his own sweat. And I was like, dude, hold on. I looked at the nurse. I said, get me the patient advocate. Well, the patient, no, get me the patient advocate right now. When it comes to healthcare, be a Karen.
That's the one time it's okay, because that's for your health, your well-being, your future. Wow, Leah. You got to be extra careful.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it for right now.
So you know what that
See,
is, Roseanne? That's that
Look at all the
almighty
lists
dollar.
I got on there.
You got a list? Why are the lips upside down?
Because the list is upside down.
Oh, okay.
The lists aren't all going the same direction.
Oh, okay.
And it's my book. I can have them upside down if I want.
Maybe you're going to read it while you're hanging on the extension table. Who knows?
I could never hang on the extension table. It's full of stuff.
Stuff.
I kept a G.
Hey, Zena.
Hi, Gina. How you doing? I'm trying to get the serial killer out, guys.
Oh, the box.
It's a little bit of Jenga. Got to do the project Jenga. And here she comes. Oof.
Good Lord, woman. How much does that thing weigh?
I don't know. Get out your scale.
Bring it here. Let's weigh this
I
puppy.
think we weighed it before and it was like 7 pounds.
Holy crap and holy, bring it out here.
Four, I can't remember. We did weigh it once before.
I know we measured the rollatini that one time in the park. And we
I
had
have
to,
another one that you were
we had to
taking
reset
the
the tape measure twice.
Well, and it blew all over the place.
Oh, it's not bad.
How much?
It's only 2 pounds, 5 ounces.
Oh, I thought we weighed it and it was more than that. You try picking that up with one hand, though.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's a hefty little pucker.
Hey, don't insult my girl.
I said pucker. Everyone throw out a number. Look at Carla. Everybody throw out a number. Let's take a guess.
What?
Carla's already throw out a number. 9 pounds. It is a chunker.
Oh, that sounds nice, Cena. Little watercolors, art journaling. Very nice. Roseanne's got a good start, but she hasn't started. So yeah, what I did here, this is my I did it list. And I just threw in some random pictures. I like to have pictures and everything. So every time I find a fun picture, I just slap it in here. Or a creepy picture. I put some creepy pictures in here.
And a whale tail that looks like underwear. You know, that's a creepy picture.
Would you stop talking about? It's not underwear. Stop it. Whale tail. Whale tail. There's something wrong with you, woman.
Are you just starting to figure that out?
No, I just want everybody else to know in case there's any confusion.
Is there anybody out there who didn't know I was like a little twisted?
Oh, some of the people coming here are pretty new. Well,
So what are you saying,
Roseanne, you'll have to
everybody?
share some pages with us when you finally get to work on it. Whenever you feel comfortable, you know. I was going through some images the other day. I have a whole box of partially processed stuff. I found some more stuff for our repair kit. I just got to dig it out of the box. All right, so let's see what we're going to do today.
Hi, Janice.
Janice! Nurse Jan is on the case.
Miss Mari?
Mari's in the house. Okay.
I was doing something before you all showed up. Now I can't remember what it was.
You were looking through a box. Before that, I heard you cutting paper.
I don't know. It'll come to me later.
Mari.
We snuck up on her.
We try to we try to make it on the Mondays, but it's also an errand day for some people, so the time kind of fluctuates.
And then I had to drive across town to pick up a kid in his tuba.
Is the tuba as big as he is?
And it's damn close, honey.
It's like a
Like
toothpick
he
in a
stands
tuba.
up in that tuba case, comes above his belly button.
So when he's holding it and playing it, it just looks like legs in a tuba.
Yeah.
I got a visual now, thanks.
Uh-huh. Oh, yes, I was looking at stuffies from my latest adventure.
Y'all latecomers miss seeing my balls.
I think they finally got smart to me over there. Because now they're starting to close the bags with zip ties.
Just put some zip ties in your purse.
And they're starting to sell the yarn by the skein. I did get this one. I think it's really cool.
Oh, that's a pretty color.
It doesn't say what color it is, but it's 35% mohair. It's from England.
Carla says now she's hearing big balls from AC/DC in her head.
Oh, cool. Then I got one like the two I got for Amy. They had a lot of it.
Roseanne. They were.
Haha. Down there. I found this one. You don't usually find brown fun yarn.
Did it speak to you?
It did. It said, "Take me home." Country roads to the place.
That's okay, Janice. You can just watch and relax. We're here. All you have to do is be in the room and hang out.
You want to fall asleep? You fall asleep. Whatever you need, babe.
Ann, how you doing? Ann Lair's in the house.
Found this one.
Is that orange or red?
It's really red. And I found this one.
It's sort of red.
It's
Oh,
really
I like
red.
that one. Nice.
Yeah, I like this one. It's called. What's the color on this? Doesn't list the color.
Francis!
It's made in Italy, though. He's Italian.
Francis is here.
This one was being held hostage by some string, like thread. So I had to liberate it.
Mm-hmm. I hate it when that happens. All right, give me a minute. I gotta go rinse my thing out. My plate. Well,
You see how I'm letting that whole I got to go rinse my thing out thing go? Aren't you proud of me?
now we'll go after it. It'll circle around.
It'll circle around.
Never let it get that difficult. Maybe slightly dirtier all over it.
Well, I am a 12-year-old boy inside. We just talked about this. So is Carla, too, though.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here's a number of the ladies. A little bit of both going on in there.
It's a thing.
Is it the thing?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now back to whatever we were doing. Yum nachos. What is the thing?
Yeah, we've decided it's actually kind of the best thing about being our age.
Nachos?
If we want cereal 3 meals a day, we can do that.
Carla got a package today and she hasn't opened it yet.
I'm proud of her. I get packages and I rip
And
them
Francis
open.
said she got gorgeous stuff.
Mm.
I think Aunt's been in once before for Serial Killer and she's back, so maybe we scared her just enough. Okay, where'd that picture go? Oh, there it is. So, bring up the paper cutter. Now, as you all know, we babble for a while and then we finally get to the serial killer portion of the evening. Are we back on Jack, or are you taking another side trip?
I know we're back on Jack.
Okay. Side trips are okay. It's a little fun. There was 2 things I couldn't wait to do when I become an adult. Uh-oh. What were they? Man, there. I don't scare easy. Yay, Roseanne. Did that take less of a trip around your state? The last one had like an international tour of Ohio.
I
Have
hate when they
cake
do
for
that.
breakfast and blow bubbles in the house.
We can run with
Cake for
scissors too.
breakfast. Hey, that is breakfast. There's eggs and milk and flour in there. It's just pancakes in another form. All I'm saying. But have you blown bubbles in the house? Oh no, Mari. Well, I guess it is Moody Monday. It took the short way this time. Yeah, her last box, it did like a circular tour of Ohio before it finally everywhere but where it needed to be. Paper wanted to have an adventure, I guess, before it got to its final destination. Oh no, I said final destination. That was a creepy little giggle. Oh, sorry. Sorry, that was very loud.
All right.
Yes, BLTs are with eggs are good for breakfast too.
Hello, computer.
Pinky likes to taste bubbles right until he bites one. Yeah, that's probably not a good mouth feel. I'm thinking that's probably not real fun if you bite one. I know we've all had soap in our mouths at least once. We're from that era. Soap is not tasty.
Okay, that was different.
What? You never had your mouth washed out with soap?
I had no idea what was going on. The last like 3 minutes, my computer's been frozen still.
Oh, well, that's fun. That was me the other day.
I'm telling you, this is annoying. Okay, so we're at that 45-minute mark.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and give Hags the stage, so y'all can take a trip into the journal there, see who she's up to killing this time. And
I'm not killing anybody. I don't know what you're talking about.
when I come back, we're going to talk about some of the latest things going on with Jack the Ripper, because believe it or not, people are still working the case.
Zena, say it isn't so. You washed your mouth out with hot sauce?
Oh!
Woo!
Woo! Woo, woo, woo. All right,
Wow.
here you
Wow.
go.
I can't even. Whoa.
Yeah.
You could get different levels of pain with different stuff. I would have been the best behaved child on the
How bad you
planet.
screwed up.
Yeah, soap, not tasty. All right, so I'm kind of making a pocket here. I don't know what I'm going to put in the pocket, but not this because it's got those big old staples on the back. Yes, I need another pocket in this journal like we need another hole in the head. I hate pickled jalapenos I love pickled jalapenos. That's some good stuff right there. Hot sauce would be better than Irish Spring. Yeah, I don't imagine. I know what Irish Spring smells like, but I've never had my mouth washed out with it. Nope, just plain old regular soap. Picante was always on the table. Oh my goodness, yeah, no, unless they know to. I guess it's a whole new level of terror, though. But if you're used to spicy food, how bad is that? I'm looking for my corner rounders over here. Find a corner rounder, lose a corner rounder. Story of my life. I think I might know where it is, but I also need a circle punch. Circle punch! Your grandma didn't play. I bet. She meant business. You know what? I'm not going to put because I'm going to wind up cutting off part of the face, and that'll just be weird. I'm going to leave it. We'll just have a square edge. Bad enough that they're already, basically mummified. Let's try and get this glued down. So, yeah. Well, so I've learned a new thing today. Grandmas usually mean business. If they get down to, oh, I did that wrong. Awesome. I was not paying attention and I did it wrong. What a dork. I find that I am very, very absent-minded lately. Okay. Now, this is going to take a minute to hold, though. Oh, you can give me some glue, but you can't keep everything safe. Liquid Florlax. How'd you find that out? I fought the punishment and won. Nobody was able to tell me what to do. Ooh, Roseanne was sassy. I don't want to know what liquid floor wax tastes like. Gross. I will take your word for it. Oh, wow. Of all the things I could think of to punish my children, floor wax never, ever occurred to me. Nor salsa, though. So. Might have had more compliance with the hot sauce, honestly. Parents in our generation had some weird punishments, but grandparents of, our generation, they did not mess around. You did not fuck around with your grandparents. He is going to be in a lot of trouble like that. Okay, so we got a little pocket going on. Now let's see how much of this we need to cut off. And what's going to be our story this time? We must have 50 or 60 stories in here by now. Okay, now let's see. Let's cut that down some. See if that's enough. We might be able to get 2 in here. And I'm okay if it sticks out some. You know, we like all our extra sticky outy things. Okay, that'll work. And we might put a second thing in there too. Why not? Let's just keep stuffing it till it explodes. Oh, sorry. They were good by the time you hatched. All right, so that's what's going to go in there. Now we need to pick out stuff to go on there. I think I've decided here that I want to do 8 little pictures. Murder by the moon phases. She had the don't mess around look down to a pat, Leah. My mom would give me the talk. Good night, Candy. Sorry that you missed the Jack the Ripper part. Get good rest though. We love you. I had a friend who could look at babies and make them stop crying in stores, like instantly. Could be a full-on temper tantrum with the tears and the red face. She'd give him the look. That shit was over. All right, let's see what we got in our pile of goodies. Ooh, maybe we can make something on that. Ooh, here's a little piece of New Mexico. Because obviously, if we're having mummified bodies, we got to be in the desert. Let's see. Picking out some stuff. Let's see what we do. Calendars are always good, right? I need some pictures. Some stuff. That might be nice. Let's see what's over here. A whole pile of pictures here we can go through. Let's see what we like. There's a couple more. Okay, let's start with that and see where we get. Red Foreman from the 70s show. Yeah. You thought about werewolves? Hold on. Oh. You thought werewolves of London in your head? Mine were alive long enough to see their great grandkids, at least 2 of them. Carla. Yeah, that really sets the stage, doesn't it? It was a part Aussie Shepherd and oh my goodness. I can't even picture what that would look like in my head. Okay, so I like this. We might try to do part of that on one side of it. Okay, so let's get over here. Let's put those over there. All right, so let's see what we could fit on here. I think maybe like that. So we will cut there and there and there. I didn't there. Get it all the way over. Okay, let's see what we get done here. Murder in the Desert. Was it a big dog or a small dog? Like, we'll keep the other side of that for use later. Oh, okay, so let's see. Wrong side. Okay, I'm not really wanting a border. I wanted to cover most of the, so we're not looking for some extra space. All right. And I think I do want it on this side. There we go. It's really gonna fit. We're gonna get it on there. I'm gonna push the book up so I don't get glue all over the place. You've met me. I can get glue on anything. Okay, so maybe I should move it off to the side for a second. Put it over here. Okay. So the camera, I've moved the camera. So I have to reposition everything, you know. Fuzzy with a monochrome, tiny with Pomeranian face. Oh, so it was a tiny, cute little dog that was really fluffy. Okay. I think this calendar page may have come from Miss Janice. And some goodies a while back. She sent me some lovely pictures. Some lighthouses and stuff for scavenger hunt thing that I still haven't finished. I should finish that. I am bad at finishing things. I've just figured that out. Well, not just. I've known for a while, but give it a tiny, tiny little edge. Because the rest of it has a tiny, tiny little edge. Now, I maybe should have inked that, but I didn't. I can ink the edge of the file folder itself, though. That was just a craft brown file folder. Else gave me half of one the other day. I think maybe last Monday or the Monday before. So I'm using it up. We like to definitely use up things. Okay. It's another one of them hiking murders. People shouldn't post their plans online. Okay, so let me find my ink.
Stand back. She's inking.
What?
I said you're inking. Stand back.
Yeah, stand back a safe distance. Keep your hands and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Oh, no, wait, that's for when I eat. Butterfingers. I hear Elle's going down the hallway.
No, that was Sandy.
She came back and then wandered off.
It was Sandy.
Doing me. Me.
She's the one causing problems. By the way, I want to tell you all what happened last night. There was an episode. Sandy bought everybody dessert.
Oh, no. Really? You can't just let some shit go? I'm not going to forget this.
Oh my god.
Who are we kidding? I'm totally going to forget it in like 20 minutes.
Okay, so Sandy bought everybody's turkey. Guess I missed this.
Yeah, you missed it. Hold on.
I guess
Yeah, you already had jammy time. You were in your room. It was after jammy time.
Yeah, it was after jammy time.
Oh.
Okay, so Sandy bought everybody desserts. They look like this. They're these little parfaits that we love.
Right.
Now, these labels are practically plastic. Like, you can't tear these. And Amy's sitting there trying to get in this thing. She couldn't get in it. So I walked over and I picked it up and I went like this.
Oh.
And she went, son of a bitch.
Well, the way that time, is that one ring?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
In all fairness, she's had a traumatic head injury lately. And she
We're not
was
talking
having-
about that. We are not talking about that
No,
at
we're
all.
not. No, we are not. But she was half asleep. Oh my god! So she's like, "Oh,
Look, I had a moment, okay?
you did."
Just didn't occur to me that I could just pop the lid off. Nope. I'm over there struggling with that stupid plastic thing.
Which really doesn't say much because that means that those things are open at the store. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little disturbing, but
Roseanne, you made me using my scissors to cut it open. Exactly. Like, you have to be
I was
determined
on the
you want
couch
that
with
piece
a
of-
book. I was in a comfortable position. Okay, pick a side here. Santa Fe or Albuquerque. Santa Fe and Las Cruces or Albuquerque.
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque it is.
Yeah, she was not totally awake, and it was the bane of her existence. It was banana cream pie. She loves bananas.
I do. I love bananas.
She does. And then she puts her spoon in it, and what does she get? A mouthful of whipped
They
cream.
have vanilla wafer crumbs on it.
Yes, it did.
Yes.
We go to
That's
Sonic
the first
in the
bite
summer.
always, because like 2/3 of it is whipped cream.
We go to Sonic in the summer, and they have a
Oh, banana cheesecake.
banana cheesecake milkshake with vanilla wafer. I can get her to do anything for that.
Almost anything.
Honey, let's go camping with the grandkids. And I don't want to. Banana Foster's milkshake. Okay.
No. Oh, no. No, no, no. Yeah, I will not go camping with your grandchildren. Sorry. I love them to death, but I'm not being trapped in the woods with them.
But if the bodies disappear,
In a long car trip with your grandkids is my idea of torture. What?
but if the bodies were to disappear in the woods,
If you did not bring them home, Alex would never forgive you.
I know. Harry,
And you,
I'm
the
gonna
lady
turn the
who
camera
says
on.
you can't live without your grandchildren, you could never kill them.
I don't know. I
Need
might
them.
be able to kill that girl child.
Nope. She'll come out the other side and you'll love her again and she'll love you.
Nah. Ooey. All right.
They have to go through that long,
Talk
dark,
about it.
existential
I know,
crisis that is teenagehood.
There will be a dawn. I'm
Like
aware.
they've actually known any trauma yet.
I know. Well, don't you know that we've inflicted?
So are
huge
we
amounts of
getting
trauma?
on with the whole? Huh?
We're going to talk about some Jack. All right.
Daniel?
So I said last week that this is still an open investigation. Like it's never gone away. They've gone through and there's been DNA testing that's been performed. There are thousands of books written on the subject. You can buy maps.
Oh my God.
And go and
Thousands
visit.
upon thousands.
Yeah, you can buy maps and go, and there's even Jack the Ripper tours.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
if you go to Whitechapel, they walk you through, where the deaths occurred, where the bodies were found. You can buy pin signs that say, the street names, the locations of all the bodies. You could buy reproductions of the newspapers from the time. It's ridiculous. But
there is no shortage of memorabilia, and it's like a business now.
yeah, he's a commodity. So in 2023, there was a police volunteer, a woman by the name of Sarah Bax Horton, and she did a big investigation, and she says she knows who the killer is.
Okay.
And
how involved with this? How long did it take her to arrive at her conclusion? Okay,
Quite a
I'm going to
while,
tell you all this right now. I just picked up my extra keyboard to trim this image.
oh, good. That might be helpful.
Yeah, I'm totally going to get there with that keyboard. I'm sorry, I had to share that. I've got it halfway up to the table, and I'm like, that's not going to work. All righty. Continue on with your story now, lady.
So here's the thing. This woman, Sarah Bax Horton, her grandfather was actually one of the detectives on the case.
Really? So does she
Yes.
have some
So
kind of
she
insider
has-
info we don't have?
So she has access to, stuff.
Carla.
So she went and she examined some medical records, witness descriptions of the man seen with the victims. And she's named this man named Chaim Hyams.
I've heard that name before.
Yes.
Probably on a
He
documentary
was
or something.
Yeah, he was a cigar maker. He lived in the area.
Okay.
He was epileptic and an alcoholic. He was in and
Oh,
out of
awesome
asylums.
combination.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and because he made cigars, he did have skills with a knife, and he had sharp knives to use.
Okay.
He was
Right.
arrested numerous times. He was known to assault his wife, fearing that she was cheating on him. And he was finally
So he
arrested
was
for
paranoid.
attacking his wife and his own mother with what they described as a chopper.
Oh, that's fun. So is he going to cut off some thumbs or?
Don't know. Witnesses say that he was in his mid-30s. He had a stiff arm and an irregular gait.
Okay. So he walked funny. Probably an
Yes.
injury, yeah.
Probably. She found some medical notes that when he was 35, there was an injury that left him unable to bend or extend his left arm.
Okay.
He had one of the most severe forms of epilepsy there is, and he had regular seizures.
Okay.
His medical records show that his decline, as far as his mental state, coincides with the Ripper killings,
Okay.
and he was permanently committed in September of 1889. So, in the files that they have, there is several eyewitnesses that said that he had a peculiar gait. He was weak at his knees and wasn't fully extending his legs. He had a kind of shuffling gait to him.
Okay. So is it
so
possible he was he was partially paralyzed from an epileptic seizure?
Brain damage, yeah. So he had some nerve issues in his legs.
Okay. I lost my. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Stephanie, we'll hold that question until after the Ripper portion, okay? But we will get back to it.
So police have never, established an absolute on how many victims there were in total. But
Right.
the investigators at the time investigated 11 murders. Even though we talk about the Conicals, they investigated 11 murders in the Whitechapel and
Right.
Springfields area in 1888 to 1891.
Right.
They could not necessarily link those to the 5 in 1888, but
just like ruling out suspects, you could rule in victims later.
right. So people over the years have pulled out all this evidence, and they've drawn up a list of potential killers, and these are from plausible to preposterous. We know this. We've looked at them. Okay? There's a Russian con artist, a Polish barber, an Irish American quack, even the eldest son of Edward VII. They've all been accused. But hello. Yes, thank you. Thank you. All right. So in 2009, there was a historian that said that they have uncovered another potential suspect.
Okay.
This guy would fit the modern forensic profile of the killer. But people had overlooked him. This is May Trout.
Because
and this hold on, this will make sense. They believe this in 2009, the historians claim, after looking at all the evidence, was that it was the mortuary attendant, Robert Mann.
I thought we had discussed that before.
Yes, that's my theory.
Okay.
It's been my
So
theory
finally
for
some
many
vindication
years.
for you?
Yes. So
Okay.
we have, a lot of modern findings that have been going on
Mm-hmm.
based on the history. But I think that this Hyams is a good contender. And the reason I think that they're a good contender is because she's gone and she's actually done the legwork. She's looked at all the medical records. She's poured through everything of the time. And she has come to the conclusion based on the height, the weight, the physical limitations, the disabilities, the appearance of this man in regards to what was written by these medical professionals. It all ties together.
Okay.
Again, there's still a faction out there that's trying to dig up the bodies. I personally don't think there's going to be any evidence, nothing evidentiary there, because they used quicklime back in the day. So on top of everything else, the bodies, hello,
degraded significantly and contaminated. And it was also mass graves, some of them.
Right. So there were literally probably 200 to 300, close to at least 200 witnesses for the cases. But you had names like Alfred Edward or Patrick Mulshaw. Alfred Edward or Patrick Mulshaw. Not a woman named Lyons. So these were the types of, how do you go out and find, I need a woman named Lyons. It's not like you can go back and talk to the witnesses again. Because
you risk putting ideas in their heads too.
Yeah, but you also,
if they were questioned at the time, if you're making suggestions, they might just go along thinking they were helping.
Right. But you also end up with it's hard to go out and find these people once they've testified. One of the witnesses' names was One-Armed Liz.
I'm sorry.
You know what I mean? How are you going to...
Yeah, you're not going to find the records for One-Armed Liz.
How do you go about, going out and going, hey, where does One-Armed Liz live? Not only that, but in the day, you have to remember, these people didn't always stay at the same boarding house. They didn't have a fixed address. So once they spoke with the witnesses, there was no follow-up. So they couldn't really, like a modern investigation, they would talk to several witnesses and then they would bring those statements to other witnesses and kind of cross-examine witnesses to see what tied together.
Where the stories line up.
Right. They didn't do that because they weren't able to go, okay, well, tell me your story. And then you tell me your story and you tell me your story. And now we're going to write those stories down. Now we're going to look at them and go, hey, wait a minute. There might be an intersection here. Let me go talk to One-Armed Liz because she's going to be able to tell us if she saw so-and-so at such and such a time. Because if she did, then they were in the same place at the same time. they weren't able to do that.
Right.
So it kind of, screwed up the police investigation. Hello. Yes, poor Harry. He's so unloved. Yes, he's so unloved. Can y'all tell how unloved he is?
He's got a hard life.
Doesn't he?
Nobody will let him outside. He's got treats on demand.
I know. All right.
He has multiple chairs to choose from every day to sleep in, and a whole bed all day long. He's so mistreated.
So what other things did we have in the investigation that hindered the police? The press.
Because they sensationalized and even embellished the story.
Exactly. But in that day and age, that you're talking about the penny novels. These people wanted.
Right. They wanted the macabre. They wanted grisly, gory details.
Well, this is just barely one step removed from public execution.
Yeah. They wanted all the basically Twitterpation of it.
Oh, yeah. And they wanted to get up in the morning and run out and get the newspaper first thing in the morning and go, oh, so they had something to talk about.
Right.
So the news and the way that it was covered was a hindrance to the police because there was a lot of misinformation. And again, it also generated the false Ripper letters.
Right.
The only one that they can say with any real certainty based on, because they had no forensics really at the time, was the Bloody Jack letter. And that was because that letter contained a piece of kidney that nobody had released was missing from the body.
Right.
Because even back then, the police would hold things. So whoever wrote that letter, that one was probably true.
No. It was either an inside job or it was actually the killer.
Yeah, because again, it could have been, one of the cops or
a cop would know.
But and back then cops weren't like they were today. Very few communities had actual constables. And if they did, they were citizen constables. They were people that, lived in the area and patrolled to try and keep the place somewhat safe. But, also take down
it's a proven fact that populations policing themselves, as long as it doesn't get too bully-like, is actually very successful.
Well, that's the problem. These guys were more thugs than the constables. They, they would shake down businesses and stuff. And only if you paid the shakedown would they then run people off that weren't supposed to be in your establishment or sleeping in your doorway,
Mm-hmm.
So, so the police were
that's not the
hindrance.
good kind then.
Right. So the police were a big hindrance. What? Stop. Another.
Yeah, it is, Carla.
Another real hindrance was false leads. Other than because of what the press was putting out there, that's where those, letters
so
were
people
coming
were
from.
picking up on the press stories and recommending, or turning in hints for the wrong thing because they were basing their accusations basically on false information.
Correct.
But they didn't know they were doing that.
And then let's go to the next level, anti-Semitism. That played a huge part.
Was a big thing, yeah.
Um, basically, the whole leather apron thing, it pulled police resources away from, trying to prevent
where they
more
could
Ripper
actually have done
murders.
some good.
Well, because they had to have, they only had so many constables. And,
Right.
they're supposed to have them walking these patrols, but everybody was saying, that it was the Jews did it, and I mean, that was even written at one of the crime scenes. It was in the press at the time. So the constables who should have been walking beats and keeping the area safe were protecting the Jewish
harassing
centers.
Jews.
They weren't harassing them. They were protecting the Jewish centers where the Jewish people had settled, because they had settled like in their own block. They had their own little area, and they were diverting constables from the Whitechapel area,
Italian Americans and stuff,
to put them in what they called the Jewish block. So because people were going and they were like, oh, it's him, and they were trying to pull people out of their homes, and it was ridiculous. Another problem, they didn't offer a reward. There was no actual reward.
Oh. Well, I don't know. That could have caused false leads too.
It could have, but if there was a reward in that time period, you may have had more local vigilantes that would have, made it a point of keeping an eye on the ladies, walking them home, looking for people that didn't belong.
Right. Actively looking for a killer instead of just being jackasses.
Right.
Putting resources where they were actually needed.
Exactly.
However it was motivated.
And the police did not want to put out the reward, and not just the police, but the Home Office, which is basically, like the chief of police kind of thing. But the Lord Mayor of the City of London, he put up his own money. It just wasn't a lot, but it was something. He was trying.
Right.
Hello. Yes. So another thing that they didn't do, which is very common today, when there's a crime and you witness a crime, one of the first things they do is say, hey, can you come down to the station and look at some mugshots?
Right.
Or sit with an artist, a police artist, a sketch artist, and draw us a picture. They didn't do that back then. For whatever reason, the people that said they had seen these ladies with men, especially ones that had stories that kind of linked up, like one of the things was the deer stalker cap. That was a lot of people saw these ladies with men wearing deer stalkers, which is just basically a style of hat.
Do you think, though, that's part of the good old boy club, trying not to get men in trouble?
I don't think so, because I think that the men of the day, because prostitution was legal. So for them, these were just girls who were working their job.
Want to bring in married men and
but the general safety of the population, and the fact that even the Queen got in on this at one point, and said, hey, y'all need to do something down there because this is getting out of hand. And, she even went down and toured the area. And it was, in fact, her who said, whoever this is, they know where they are. Because that area of London has a lot of dead ends, a lot of pathways that lead into courtyards, a lot of streets that wrap around on themselves. It's like a mini version of Route 66. Do you know that there's actually a spot on Route 66 where it crosses itself?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and London's like that. I'd like to see Ron at that intersection. Make a left onto Route 66 from Route 66.
Yeah, but it's better than a 7-Eleven in the middle of the street in front of a school.
Yeah, that's in the middle of nowhere. So some people had seen the face of Jack the Ripper. They knew this.
Oh my God. I found Special Sam
Did you?
and Twinkle Toes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
I finally found him. I've been looking for him forever.
Oh, the twins. So,
Poor
yeah, so
Special
a lot of
Sam.
people,
He needs a helmet now.
so obviously there had to be some people that, saw him. So now the thing would have been, let's get each of these people to come in, sit with an artist. Let's get some pictures drawn up and see what's similar. Build a face and then show it to the witnesses and go, is this the guy? And when they come to a conclusion that this is the guy, publish it in these same papers that were running these ridiculous stories. But oh, no. What they did run were sketches, and this is the stupidest damn thing. They ran sketches of an artist's impression
Good night,
of what
Marty.
a murder should look like.
Oh, Jesus. Are you kidding me?
No.
Because a
That's
murder
what they
can't look totally normal.
In October of 1888, they ran in the Illustrated Police News 2 suspect sketches. These were just drawings of cartoon bad guys, basically. What, their artist's impression of what a dangerous person would look like. And they ran them instead of some accurate depictions of the suspects that had been described to them.
Right. Because
Can you imagine?
in a certain way, they couldn't imagine the killer being normal, looking like the guy next door. Right?
Exactly. This guy can't be, walking around,
That's part of the reason they have trouble
coat.
finding these guys, because nobody wants to admit it's the nice, normal guy next door who's probably chopping people up into tiny bits in their basement.
Well, yeah, he's a nice guy, except on Tuesdays.
Tuesday sucks. Unless there's
And in the full moon,
Yeah. And if the
They
dog
have their
next door
tacos and then they go bananas.
just don't listen to the cat.
What? No, kitty.
I hope you ladies are fat and happy now.
Putty
Yes.
Talk, the sequel.
Happy, everyone? Yeah.
Yes. So now the other issue, one of the other issues was that, again, because they only had so many, they were very undermanned. So it had nothing to do with the competency of any of the detectives or the investigators, or even the competency of the local constables. It had to do with the fact that each constable walked a route that took them about an hour to walk. So, you know, if you knew the constable's route and he went by the front of the gates of this alleyway, you knew he wasn't going to be back for at least 45 minutes to an hour.
That's true.
So this was a direct quote from Warren, who is like, he was in charge of the investigation. He said, London of today, with its 5,476,477 inhabitants and 8,773 police to protect them, is in far worse case than the London of 1848, only 40 years earlier, when there were 2,473,758 people, but they had 5,288 police to look after their safety.
Yeah, but they have cars and motorcycles and stuff now, and CCTV and.
No. This is back then. This is literally this is a quote from 1887.
Oh, okay,
So-
okay, I see. I misunderstood.
So within like 40 years, he's talking a 40-year span. They went from a police force that was 8,773 to only 5,288, but they had 3 billion more people to look at. 3 million more
Yeah.
people to look at. So they almost double the percentage of people living in London at the time, but they
But only
almost
have 3,000 more cops.
but they almost halved the police force.
Janice, murder and bananas. A connection.
Yes. Sorry guys, I'm got a little twinge. Hold on. So a lot of this calls into fact the question of, were the Victorian police incompetent? Well, in the end, they never brought anybody to justice. But they also said later on that there were some officers that were involved with this that, stayed with the police department, who later on said, no, we did catch him. We just didn't say anything. And they may have caught who they thought the murderer was, but he was criminally insane. And in which case they can't release his identity and they cannot tell people that they have him, and he would have to be locked up and put away. And that's kind of, it's a double-edged sword. You want the people to know that they're safe, but by law, you cannot disclose somebody who's mentally ill. So if they catch him and then decide that he's crazy, they're going to put him in the loony bin. They cannot disclose that he's crazy. They can only put him in an institution for the criminally insane, where he's locked in a room all day. So maybe they did catch him and they just can't say anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at this point in time, wouldn't they have come forward with that information? I mean, this far in the future?
Maybe not. Because again, who's Jack the Ripper is an industry.
Well, I just mean, even if they couldn't release who it was, wouldn't they say that they had?
Again,
Or you think that at this point, because it makes so much money.
It makes so much money, but there's also considerations to be made. Living family members, descendants. You know, how would you like to wake up one day and find out from your government that, you know, your great-great-grandfather was the sickest son of a bitch that ever walked the planet? In the opinion of about 80% of the population of the country you live in, you know?
Okay, but they don't take those into consideration now when they arrest serial killers.
No. Hold on, I gotta get soda. And close the salsa. Okay. Sorry, guys. I have to take some pills. I had to get something to drink. Okay. So, yes, the investigations were fumbled, but at the time, they weren't. That's just the way it worked back then. The detectives came in, they saw what they needed to see, and then they said, clean this mess up. Because they didn't want to start rioting. They didn't want to have vigilantes on their hands. But they didn't have all of the things they have today. They still believed in chronology.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you don't know what chronology is the study of the bumps on the head.
I thought that was phrenology.
Chronology thing. I think it's phrenology. Anyway, but they still looked at phrenology. Yes, they still had the measurement between your eyes. If it was within so much, you were shifty, you were a thief. These were still modern practices at this time. Yeah. So they didn't really have, and there was no, like, today we have protocol. When there's a murder committed and a body's found, nobody is allowed to touch that body until the coroner arrives. I mean, they're allowed to touch it in so much that they can identify, you know, to make sure that the body's dead, that this person is deceased. But they can't roll them over or search their pockets. They cannot do anything. That body belongs to it. It's the property of the coroner. And there's a very good reason for that. It's chain of custody. So more often than not, if the coroner's not available at that exact moment, they'll just cover the body with a sheet. And they investigate the rest of the area. But they do it in a way that doesn't disturb the body.
Preserves the crime scene.
Right. In some places, you're not even allowed to investigate. Like, you go in and you go, oh, there's a body. Let me see. No, they're not. This is no longer a living person. This is a deceased. They have to leave and wait for the coroner to show up. When the coroner gets there, one of the very first things they do is, again, check for a pulse. They check for multiple pulses. They listen at the pulse points to see if they can hear any blood pumping. Once they determine that the person is deceased, then they will give the order that the body is deceased. They package the hands in paper bags. The body is carefully moved so that any identification or anything that may be on the body can be taken and given to the detectives. But they have to sign for it because it's still property of the coroner. But there's like all of these little steps that they have to take before that body can be moved, before that crime scene can be fully investigated. Like, they're not even supposed to walk in and see a body laying on the floor and pick up its jacket and go, oh, yeah, look, you got shot. They can't do that. Those types of, even that kind of basic stuff, you know, like don't touch the body, wasn't something that they did back then. The detectives would walk in after 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 or 30 people had been there. They would look around, pick up little bits of evidence. There was no blood splatter technology. There was no study of weaponology. They couldn't, other than, you know, they got stabbed. They could not say what kind of a knife it was. They were not able to, they just didn't have the knowledge. A lot of cops, they didn't go through, there was no training really. You just, you know, you decided you wanted to be a beat cop. And they would tell you, okay, look, this is your job. You go out there and you just don't let people sleep on the streets. And if somebody yells for help, you go and find out what's going on. Here's the key to the box so you can ring the alarms. That was pretty much the training. So you don't have a lot of people here that are keen on forensic investigation. As a matter of fact, the book that details what you should do at a crime scene wasn't even written until 1893. The first volume. And it was written by an Australian. Photography was something that was done at this period, but it wasn't used for this purpose, for criminal investigation. Now, how many times have you looked at a picture that you've taken and gone, I didn't see that? Because your mind, when you're looking at something live, doesn't always pick up every detail. But when you have a picture and you can stare at it or look at it with a magnifying glass, you can see more details. So was there maybe a palm print that they missed? Was there somebody in the picture that was at every crime scene?
Yeah, they do look at people milling about at crime scenes now a lot more.
And at the funerals. Oh, big time at funerals. Yeah. So you have all of these things that they would do, photographs, blocking off the area so that people couldn't walk through it. If there was one of Ripper's victims laying there in the alleyway and some guy came walking up, they would go, hey, and he'd go, I got to go over there to go to work. And they'd go ahead. Like that. Oh, you got to go to work? Go. One of these women was killed outside of a gate where horses went in and out. Do you know how many horses passed in between those gates while the body laid there and the police were investigating? I'd say probably at least a dozen. Because it was market time. These people were going to get the horses to draw the carts to go to market. Are you there?
Yeah, but you keep cutting out on me, so.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on.
I think it's just a busy night. I think it's YouTube is the problem, honestly.
I think so too.
And I think it does not like to interface with StreamYards.
So, I mean, one of the things that they did was they took pictures of the victim's eyes because they believed back then that you could see a reflection in the eyes of the last thing that they looked at.
Yes, that was a big thing then.
That was a thing. That image would be preserved on the retina, so they should take this picture. They took pictures of the victims, but they did not take pictures of the victims in situ. They took it at the morgue, and they closed up their clothes to give them some dignity and propped them up, and you know what I mean? It wasn't. We didn't take the picture at the scene where we might have noticed, oh, look, they all have this, or they all have that. The scenes
or they're all laying to the northwest,
Right. Some of them didn't even have good sketches drawn. In crime, God, I hate to use this, but here in Vegas, there's a thing called the CSI experience, where you walk through a crime and you're the investigator kind of thing. And one of the things they give you, and it's really something that's still used, is they give you a folder, and in that folder, there's a piece of paper that is set up like a grid. And it's because right, because they have this, paper that's set up like a grid so that you can go, okay, well, over here there was a dumpster, and then next to that there was another dumpster, and you can say this one was trash, and this one was for oil, like the oil from a restaurant, and then there was a couch here, a beat up old couch, so that you can see that scene and you sketch it out. Police still do that today. They still sketch that out. But in that day, they didn't even do that. They didn't even look at it and go, okay, here's, the alleyway where she is. There's a door here, and we've got some high windows here, and the body was found here, and her dress was pulled up. Oh, and there was, a pile of horse dung, and we have blood drops going this way. They didn't even do that. Now, they did have one picture of Mary Kelly in situ at the crime scene. That was one photograph that was taken. But they didn't photograph things around her. They just basically photographed the body. Still there, Amy? Amy?
Yep, I'm just listening.
Okay. I'm just checking because I'm hearing weird noise.
What?
Like a clicking?
The fan is going around and around in my room.
Okay, that might be it. They didn't do fingerprinting in this case. Because
like as in looking for suspect fingerprints?
Right, because it wasn't yet established as a way of a means of finding a suspect. Because
they didn't fingerprint people when they brought them in for crimes, right?
Right.
Mitzi has a question.
No, they had a lot of investigators that they would come, they would look, and they'd leave. They had a lot of people coming and going, not just the, like I said, not just the investigators, not just the detectives, but the. Why are you stealing my pen? Not just the constables in the area, but delivery drivers, butchers, anybody who needed to get through that alleyway to conduct business, they let them through. And not very many, that stayed on the crime scene for any period of time. And they should have. These things should have been, if Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was investigating at the time, he would have made sure that, all the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed. But Scotland Yard did not.
Well, every cop would come and look, but it's not like they had one or two that were doing the whole case exclusively and saw every crime scene. And that's part of the problem. No, I can't think of the word I want.
Continuity?
Where somebody was at every crime scene and saw every.
Yeah, no continuity.
No continuity.
What's one pencil taking? Why are you being a brat? That's my pencil. Stop eating my pencil. So, in 1902 was the first time that the British police actually used fingerprints to convict somebody. So you're talking 22, 23 years after the fact was the first time that their courts allowed fingerprints to be used as evidence.
Wow. Well, it wasn't common practice to fingerprint people when they got arrested then, was it?
Nope. It was more commonplace at that time to, are you ready? Shoe size.
Yeah.
The measurement
Are you
for the
fucking
width
kidding
of the
me?
hand. No. The width of the hand, the marks from the wrist to the tip of the long finger, the circumference of the head, the width between the eye pupils, the length of the nose, the circumference of the head from ear to ear across the top of the head. There was more to do with eugenics than criminal investigation at that time. People that said, had a certain had their eyes at a certain width apart between this and this were considered to be criminal.
Or together, they were.
If your eyes were too close, if your eyes were too close, that was considered criminal. Your eyes should be, further apart. And it was very minute measurements.
There was also a thing about this difference, the diameter between your nose and your lips too.
Yes. They were more apt to be taking measurements of the face.
The mustache area.
The Cupid's bow.
Yeah. There was a big thing about that for a while.
Yes.
Because they were saying for some of it, it indicated, and this is a term of the time, not for retardation.
Yes.
That's part of what the spacing and the eyes and the nose and everything.
And there is some truth to that because people that have Down syndrome have those types of different measurements. And back then they didn't know
also
what
babies
Down
with,
syndrome was.
And also babies that were exposed to drugs or alcohol during pregnancy have a more tend to have a larger area in the Cupid's bow.
Yes, but they also have wider eye spans. As a matter of fact, a lot of kids that are born with ARS, alcohol-related syndrome, are diagnosed as having, today even, a lot of kids that have ARS are diagnosed as having Down syndrome. Because the facial features and a lot of the symptoms are very similar. But back then, that's really what I mean. If the bridge of your nose was flat, as far as they were concerned, you were a criminal. So they
Yeah,
were
they
more
had some very
concerned when-
specific ideas. You can still pick up books on phrenology today, and Janice did spell it correctly.
Yes.
Phrenology. It's a very interesting read if you have the time or the inclination to get a glimpse into how, in that century, and even a little bit before that, how they were looking at what types of people were criminals and what the physical manifestations of that were. It wasn't necessarily that it could be just a normal guy with, some fucked up ideas in his head. They had very specific physical attributes that were associated with criminals, and they had a whole set of sort of quote unquote laws that governed who was a criminal and who wasn't.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting if you want to give it a read. I haven't read anything in a long time, so it's only vaguely in my head, but I thought it's stupid, but it's also fascinating in its own way, as that it wasn't just one country. Like, this was wide held belief for a while.
Yeah.
Good night, Roseanne.
Well, a lot of these things were held as belief right through World War II.
Yeah.
You're talking like,
And even if people
100
weren't
or so
publicly
years.
admitting it, and it was sort of class based, it was like a caste system almost. Upper echelons of society weren't necessarily categorized in this way. But you can bet if you were lower class and had these characteristics, they were all over it.
no, but if the upper class had somebody who was born with Down syndrome, they sent him away.
Yeah, they institutionalized it.
They would institutionalize them for life. They would either send
It
them.
was shameful.
Yeah.
They were trying to hide. They might not even say that a child was born like that. They might say the child
Died in childbirth. Yeah. And then they would send him off to an orphanage or to the nunnery to live. Yes, it was also pre-psychiatric and psychological medical practices as well.
So we know them today. They did have psychological
Yes.
practices,
They did.
but they were not on par with today's.
They would give you a lobotomy,
You gibbering idiot for the rest of your life.
insulin shock therapy.
Oh, that's fun.
That's always fun.
Ooh.
Forgot about that one, did you?
Yeah, but I know what it's like to have too much insulin in your system.
Yeah.
Jesus. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a full physical. Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, so let me just bring this over real quick. We made our pocket. That's our mummified body right there. Now, I made 2 cards to go in here, so we have 2 victims. This girl is the mummified body person. So, and then we got a little bit of, there's a map and.
Hey, babe, put your hand under the camera for a second so we can get it to focus.
It might just be too far away. Let me see if I can pull it down closer.
Say goodnight to Roseanne.
Good night. I did. I said it while you were
Oh,
yapping earlier.
sorry.
And then,
All right, so 2 victims.
so I need to circle this area on the map here. Huh?
Is that where our murder victim was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Well, that's where we got them. We like parks and stuff,
Okay.
Never camp alone. Here's the, the murder scene.
Oh,
It
good.
actually goes this way.
Okay.
And then, we had a twofer on this one. So these will both go in here. if I can get it to go in there. I opted not to put the little thing there because it was going to chomp off the nose. We got a loose corner. All right, I just wanted to show everybody what I was working on. So, yeah, psychology. They just some interesting stuff. Some very antiquated ideas, but they were widely and commonly held. Did anyone watch The Jinx? No, I have not seen it. Is it a movie or a show? I seem to have heard of it. I like it's familiar, but I can't quite get there. I suppose we could Google it. Let me do some Googling.
Crime documentary about Robert Durst.
Oh, you know what? They have there's two of them, I think. Yeah, I want to see that. I have not seen it yet. There's two. There's an original, and then they just recently did small pictures for different murder victims for different phases of the moon. I think that's what I want to go up here for this page. But this is the one we did today. I just need to put a name on it. I got to give our victims some names and maybe add a little bit of, goodies, mementos, as it were.
You know, the murderer loves mementos.
Yes. Thing. It's good. Okay, that's good to know, Zena. Thank you. I will definitely be checking it out. But I move slow.
Yes.
I got a list. So are we all done tonight?
I'm done.
I've finished the whole thing. I'm very proud of myself. I got 2 cards, front and back, and inking. I just need to add some little goodies to this part. I think I'm going to put them right over here. Whatever it is, I'm going to put right here. And maybe something right there. I don't want to add them to the cards because I don't want to peel up the pocket. I have done it on several, so I'm actually going to leave them out though to dry before I. So, yay!
All right.
So if we're done, I want to.
I'm going to say we're done, ladies.
I think it was a good session. So what's next? Are we still doing Ripper or are we done?
I think we got one more week of the Ripper, and then we're going to move on to something a little different. We may come back to the Ripper later, but I think we're going to move on to something a little different.
Well, we can never totally leave the Ripper alone. It's tangibly related to so many different things.
Exactly.
We'll probably be revisiting the Black Dahlia several times, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
As we do other things.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Oh, God, you think so, Meaner. All right, ladies, thanks for coming in and spending time with us. It was awesome-tastic. Next week, it will be on my channel.
There is a link to the Hags channel in the description box. So if you don't have that, make sure that you jump down there, copy and paste that sucker, and go over there and join her page so that you can get the notification. What else?
It's usually between 5 and 6, so keep your eye out for the notification. We do try and get it in early as often as possible. But we both have a bad habit of forgetting we're supposed to be live on Monday, so there's that.
Well, that and the tuba.
Well, we can't help the tuba. The albino tuba with legs. You got to take care of that.
Harry, Could you please not sit there and stare at me like I'm your next meal? Get down. Thank you. Oh my God. All right, so that's it. Listen, if you're new here and you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the button for me and subscribe. Go on over to Hag's channel and subscribe to her as well. We will be back next Monday for more Murder Monday, where we're going to talk a little bit more and kind of not really finish up, but we're going to hit a little bit more on the high points of Jack. And then we're going to talk about some other cases as we go forward, including one of the youngest serial killers ever put in jail. Like tried, convicted, and jailed for the rest of his life.
Ooh.
So we're going to talk about that. And
Looking forward to it.
check out the community tab that tells you what I've got going on in my world. If you want to know what's going on in the Hags world, you kind of have to go over to her Patreon. So that's where she's got all the good stuff. But other than that, until we see you again.
I will be live tomorrow night for the new architectural Latini, the neighborhood Latini, as it were. About 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock tomorrow.
So see you then. Bye 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 bye. Right,
Till we
blessings
see
and
you
hugs and
again.
kisses to you all.
Stay well, guys.
Push the button.
I'm pushing the button.